welcome to Talking About It. I'm John Griffith.
Liz Glazer.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
I'm happy to have you in the guest host chair.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's been, about 5 or 6 months since you've been here, or is it longer?
I think so. I'm not sure because I remember the picture from the time I was here as a guest. So on that side, showed up in my Facebook memories, which led me to think it had to have been like a year ago.
Wow. Time goes very quickly.
But I don't know if that's actually true. Because maybe, no, it has to be true. It has to be true.
It must be. It's
unless I was having like a late night, like stroll through my entire timeline, which is also
do that
possible.
Too?
Yeah. I'm just like, how do people perceive me? How would I perceive me if I was looking at myself at 3 a.m.? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
But I also, it's like, I know myself, it's like every so often, it's like, I'll just start going through pictures and, it's like that, because my short-term memory is fried.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I misspent my youth, so I fried my short-term memory.
Okay.
So, when was that? What was that? I have to email the boyfriend. So when did we do this? When did we have dinner with this one? Because I can't remember. It's like he's constantly, I met your friend from New York when he was down here a year and a half ago, and okay.
Right.
But I don't know if that's really me frying my short-term memory in my misspent youth, or if I'm just naturally blonde on the inside.
That's funny. Are you naturally blonde on the outside?
Well, when my hair had color, I was.
Right, so that still counts.
Yes, I refresh.
Yeah, I used to dye my hair blonde, which is the opposite of, it used to be long hair. And I used to not wear like men's suits and whatever, you know.
Okay, so
I spent my
you were in touch with your girly girl side? Or?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, I don't know if I am or I'm not anymore, because I had to wear skirts growing up because I went to Orthodox Jewish day school, and so that was the rule for women.
Females, yeah.
Yeah. Girls, I guess. I don't know why I called myself a woman. It's like, at that point, like, feminism is like a little too much, I think, when you're like calling your 5th grade self a woman.
Well, at 5th grade, you want to be the adult version of yourself.
I guess so, yeah. Although, I don't know. I remember feeling when I was 10, 11 that I liked being 10 and 11. Then when I was 15, I remember feeling like I want to be older. 15 is rough.
It is. I mean, you're in that window before you realize that you don't know everything. That's when you know everything.
I think that's true.
I think I knew everything until I was about 24, and then it all went away. Yeah.
Wow. I definitely thought I knew everything in my 20s, and now I'm sure that I know nothing.
Yes,
I feel like there's probably a happy medium between the two. I'm just not there yet.
Okay.
Neither happy nor medium.
In my mind, that's kind of the line between childhood and I almost said childhood and adultery. No,
adultery.
Childhood and being an adult it's like when you realize that you don't know everything, and that asking the question is a good thing, and learning how to ask for help was one of the hardest lessons that I ever learned. Right.
That is a really hard lesson. Well, because like there's this pressure, at least I remember I felt it, that like it's like you want to know everything because you're supposed to, like that's a marker of like whether you're doing well enough, like are you smart enough, you know, you don't want to admit that you don't know something. Whereas I think at least for me in adulthood and what I admire in other people, whether adult or child or whatever, adolescent, is the ability to be like, oh, you know what, I don't know that. And I suppose there could be like a point where you're like, well, if it's okay to not know, then one could theorize that there's an incentive to not acquire information. You know, if we took that to its logical end. But I don't really see that as a big problem.
Yeah, I think...
Certainly bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting that we're talking about this, and I don't mean to jump the gun in terms of like saying who the guest is.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like not in the rules of the show. I'm just a guest host. But just like the ability, because we're having on the show Ray Setti,
yeah.
Setti, sorry for that. Who, I mean, at least one interpretation of somebody who's a psychic and an astrologer is somebody who does know stuff. Somebody who knows
who's very in
arguably
tune.
Everything. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm interested to talk to him about that. I have a lot of things to ask him.
Well, I think let's leave that tease right there.
No, I know. I mean, I'm just like very excited.
Yes.
Really. And I was excited at the connection, which was unintentional, at least on my part. I did not plan to have that sort of connection between what we were talking about now and then the guest, you know? Sort of like a good therapy session, you know, and everything like
flows through you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it comes together. You know? I love that.
Yeah, no.
Your cologne smells really nice.
Probably just vanilla.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, thank you.
It's great.
Bath and Body Works.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It's the one that they only have around the holidays. So it's like
the holidays.
I go and I stock up and I buy and I buy and I buy.
Really?
And, yeah.
Do you shop, like, are you a salesperson? You like sales?
Oh, I am like Mr. Bargains.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. I buy all my winter. My better half lives in Miami.
Right.
So I'm down there once a month.
I'm going to Miami.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, in January. I mean, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that
Yeah.
later and see if there's some overlap.
Yeah.
And but all the chain stores get the same product line.
Okay.
So I buy all my winter stuff down there because it hits the bargain rack.
Oh.
So I buy
that's
these $90, $100, $150 shirts for $15 when they hit the clearance rack. Hello.
Ah.
That's just no brainer, and it's like
Yeah.
right now I have to stop myself because I've become too much of a bargain whore.
Really? Okay.
So my closet is bursting right now.
Oh, okay.
And I had mentioned this to you off camera. It's like right now I'm uncomfortable in my own skin just because.
I think you look great.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I get it, and I get that it doesn't matter. And I'm not terribly comfortable in my skin right now. I mean, it's resolutions time, so I think we can talk about it. And I have a couple of questions related to that for Ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just that I've become less active in the last year, and it's starting to show on my body.
Interesting.
So I am trying to work through that, and I have a better half who I adore and love dearly, who loves to eat and loves sweets as much as I love sweets.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't buy them when I'm up north so that I don't eat them. So I get the scale moving in the direction that I want it to move when I'm up here. And I'm not blaming him for this because it's my lack of willpower to say no to it. But there are always sweets around me there. And it's like I'm the type of person I can have a box of cookies sitting sealed in the cupboard for 6 months.
Yeah.
But once that seal is broken, that box is gone within 24 hours.
I totally get it.
So.
Yeah.
And being the holiday season, there are sweets everywhere.
Right.
You had a little bit of a delay, but I had brought some cookies tonight because it's baking season. I love to bake around the holidays, so I brought some cookies, and they got
nice
good
of
reviews,
you.
so I was happy.
Really?
But it's also a huge sugar influx to me.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things I love about the holidays. So even though, like I said, I'm not really completely comfortable in the way I look right now, I'm not going to stop that because I know I do that for others, and people have told me that they look forward to that. So
you're a really sweet person.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I love to bake for people because that's not giving somebody stuff. That's just like a personal connection.
Yeah.
So if somebody crosses through your life and you go in different directions, maybe they'll have a memory of, with a certain type of something. Oh, this reminds me of, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not my motivation for it, but you know what I mean? I have those
totally get it.
associations, so I think that maybe other people will have those associations.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
So
what were you going to say?
No, I was going to jump back to the holidays, but if you have.
Oh yeah, I was going there too.
Okay.
So we're on the same page.
So, did you do anything for Thanksgiving specifically? Especially or
specifically?
Well, everyone does something specifically.
Yeah.
You have a legal background, so I have to choose my words.
Oh yeah. No, and I don't. I mean, I'm trying to forget my legal background to some degree. No, I mean, ish.
Yes.
But I'm not like doing that actively anymore. But yes, I used to teach law and I used to be a lawyer, so there is that. And so, specifically and generally for Thanksgiving, what I did was my family is in New Jersey, and I'm dating somebody whose family is also in New Jersey. So actually, my Thanksgiving celebration that I was invited to with my parents was a 5-minute walk from where my girlfriend's family's Thanksgiving was.
Okay, so that
It was
that worked out.
so perfect. And like my parents don't live that close to where her parents live. And so it just worked.
Sometimes things just flow.
I know. Like how we were both going to bring it back to the holidays.
Exactly.
You know?
So looking forward to the December holidays. Do you have anything planned as yet?
Well, so I'm Jewish.
Yes.
Which means Christmas is my absolute favorite holiday. And that's true.
Well, Christmas and Hanukkah overlap this year.
They do, but I don't care about Hanukkah.
Okay.
So my mother is having, because the last day of Hanukkah is on January 1st.
Okay.
And so she's having a latke party on January 1st, which I think, of my mother's planned parties, because she likes to plan parties.
Okay.
She's like into cooking and like whatever, very social. I think this is the best of her ideas yet. Because like, who does anything on January 1st?
It's sort of recovery day for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like blank space.
Whether you're from partying the night before or just tired from being up past your bedtime, which is my story. It's like, okay, 12:15 is time to go home. We celebrated. Let me go.
Are you going to be in Miami?
I'm going to be in Miami.
Nice.
I have my sister is in Maryland, so I'm doing Christmas in Maryland.
Yeah.
And then I'm coming home for 24 hours and going to Miami. Just drop off the gifts and pack the new ones.
Huh. Cool. Okay.
So if there are no gifts to drop off, I'll be slightly embarrassed by the big suitcase that I'm bringing to my sister's.
Yeah.
But I've done that before because it's Maryland, so I take the train down.
Okay.
So I've, like 1 or 2 years, I neglected to bring enough space to carry stuff home, and my sister's family is very generous to me, and I'm fortunate for that. But going on Amtrak with 4 different shopping bags full of other people's generosity was a little bit awkward.
Yeah. Although it is the season for that. But I guess it's also the season for there being no room for that.
Exactly.
Because everybody else is doing it.
Everybody else is doing that.
Yeah.
It's like the train station is, there are 2 cars that actually stop at that station. So it just gets a little nuts.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Family is. I'm just going to be around for Christmas and then New Year's also. And then in January, I'm going to Miami.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
mid-January.
That's very cool. So it's been about 2 months since I've done a show.
Okay.
Here because we were dark last month. It's like I had something booked and crossed with a vacation.
Totally.
Didn't want to,
so Queens missed you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So we had a best of music episode on last month that was pre-recorded.
Cool.
So it was fun to put together. I hope people enjoyed it. But I was off and away, so the last show was before the election.
Okay.
So a lot has changed and a lot of unexpected things have happened. And initially, I never realized how emotionally invested you could get in a candidate.
Yeah.
Because I was actually heartbroken and in mourning after the election. And I didn't fully understand that. With I don't know if you were initially a Bernie supporter or not.
I wasn't.
You weren't. Okay, I have some friends who were deep into Bernie,
same.
and I didn't fully understand their sense of mourning after Hillary had won the nomination until after Election Day, and then it's like I really went through the full mourning process.
It's really interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, and then I agreed with, I used to be a lawyer and I used to be a law professor. And so one might think, I don't know, on the basis of that former career that I would have some like personal connection with something political, but I really didn't. And it was not until this election cycle that I felt it.
Yes.
You know? And I a few months before the election, I was like singing the Star Spangled Banner because I sing. I don't know if you know that. And
no, I did. Yes, I did, but not in depth.
Yeah, so it's a thing I do. And so I was singing the Star Spangled Banner, and I had a voice lesson, and my voice teacher, like we were practicing it, and I sang it, and he was like, "Wow, that was really emotional. If you don't mind my asking, like, what were you thinking about?" And at the time, and this was like well before, I was just thinking, what if Donald Trump wins the presidency? And singing the Star Spangled Banner with that inner secret, like, generated, I guess, some version of it that was like powerful, at least to one person. Yeah. But, and I almost cried, like, in singing it, you know? And like the Star Spangled Banner is a song that I love a lot, and I love this country. And like, I mean, I don't mean to suggest like in discarding the idea that like the political rather was personal for me, that like I didn't care. I'm just trying to be as honest as I can be about like my like, because some people who are lawyers are like truly like passionate, and that was something that, to be honest, like I felt was a little lacking for me in that career choice, though there were many positive things about it for me. But like it's not until this, like I said, like this election cycle that like
you felt an investment?
I did, yeah. And my parents are Trump supporters. So
Mine as well. My mother
is that
as well.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can share on that.
Yes. Well, I used to filter my Facebook posts so that she couldn't see them.
Oh, okay.
And once her posts were not filtered, I stopped filtering mine.
Yeah.
Because actually the only time that we ever kind of disagreed, and this was having a disagreement on Facebook with a family member who gave birth to me.
Right.
So it was a lot of restraint on my part to keep things veiled.
Yeah.
So I have a T-shirt that says essentially "F Trump."
Okay.
That I was wearing before the election. And,
Okay.
2 fingers up, the center one on each hand.
Yeah.
And she did not take kindly to that.
Yeah.
And that's not a word that I use often. I don't use a lot of profanity because I'm the person, I have nothing against profanity. I love, they're great words.
F profanity.
Exactly. But when I use it, people know I mean it because I use restraint in how I use it.
Right.
So, and that was my response to, well, you shouldn't say this about anybody. I said, well, okay, separate thread, not directing to anyone. I don't use this word very much. This time I really mean it. F him, F the horse he rode in on, then say it was just, I seldom have an explicit tirade, and this was my first one in a good long time.
Yeah. I admire that. And that's brave and difficult. And, I don't have that specific story because, like, I feel like I've been angry towards my parents a lot in my life. And I'm trying to use this as an opportunity, this being like, the disagreement on a political level, as an opportunity to think about how to relate to people I disagree with vehemently. Because, like, one thing, like, with Trump winning, I feel like the things that I've overcome in my life in terms of, sexual orientation and I don't know, just like being okay with myself, basically, like being okay with this, that there's something about Trump ascending to presidency that says that, like, I am wrong, that my existence is wrong. And that's something that I've felt from the time I was in first grade, like going to Jewish day school. I have things that are good things I can say about my upbringing and my schooling, but one of them is not that it was not, that's a lot of negatives, but there was a lot of shame.
Yes, I can understand.
Right. Yeah. And like, especially in transitioning from doing law to doing like acting and stand-up and singing, like just performing and being creative and whatever, letting go of shame was a really big part of that. Because in order to do creative stuff well, I think it's really hard if you hold on to shame.
If you have all those inhibitions that have been programmed into you.
Exactly. And so with this presidency, there's something that's like hold the shame, hold on to the shame. I mean that, like, I don't mean to make like too much of that like Hamilton Twitter business with him, but just like the idea of like the theater's supposed to be a safe space. It's like, and that's why that was fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was nothing disrespectful about the speech that went on.
Well, A, and B, it's like, if the theater is a safe space, then the theater is a safe space for that sort of expression.
Yes. But since you brought in Twitter, it seems like every time that there's a tweet tirade, it's a distraction from
Right,
something
which
else.
is the reason that I was like, oh, I don't want to make too much of it, because of the consciousness of like, okay, well, it's not all about the Twitter thing, but yeah, I mean, it is seems to be like a tactic.
The Trump University suit settles for $25 million, and there's a tweet storm, so the news cycle goes from here to here.
Yes.
There's another scandal, and then it's like there's a tweet about Saturday Night Live, and it distracts it from the news source to the superficial thing.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Well, the media buys into it because people watch it, but I would hope that the media would be smarter.
I know. And it's like, what's infuriating to me about Donald Trump is that he's not stupid. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a moron, but he's not stupid.
Yes.
He is unkind, and he's like everything about him makes me want to roll my eyes and like expectorate like in front of him, and vomit if I could. Mm-hmm. But he's not stupid, and that's like so annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so. And I'd say there are a lot of people online who are holding on to a glimmer, a couple of last little glimmers of hope. I think that it's a nice fantasy. Uh-huh. I don't think that they're realistic.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're
about like the Electoral College?
The Electoral College and the fact that there are 3, possibly 4 recounts going on.
Yeah,
3 are definitely going on. I think it was within the last couple of days that citizens are suing Florida for a recount as well.
Oh, okay.
So whether that gets taken up or not remains to be seen. But the 3 that are definitely, 2 are definitely happening. 1, Pennsylvania just bumped from state court to federal court, so that still remains to be seen, and there's a short window for that to happen. I think a couple of members of the college have already publicly stated they're flipping.
That, but not to Hillary.
I didn't see specifically where the flip was going. I just said, know that they're not voting him.
Yeah.
So I didn't go that in depth.
Okay.
Or if I did, it wasn't specified.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. I just know there were a couple of articles that they're flipping, and I'm surprised, I think, after the fact, even if just a handful, I don't think it'll be nearly enough to make a difference in the outcome.
Right.
At least as far as the college flipping.
Yeah.
I think there'll be another tantrum and tirade about it.
We should ask Ray.
Okay, that's
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna.
Well, like we have a psychic.
We're gonna see him in about 10 minutes. Or
Yeah.
if this is a rerun, you're gonna see him on the next episode.
I'm like being a psychic about the fact that we're gonna see a psychic.
Very good.
Yeah. Because you can learn. I want to ask him about this too, of like, because I know that there are like classes and stuff that you could take to
develop your ability.
Yeah, which is like, it's an interesting thing, because like having gone to like law school, right? Like it seems like easy for me to understand, and I want to say that it is easy, perhaps if not objectively, then like intersubjectively, to understand that like, okay, you go to law school, you're going to learn how to like think like a lawyer, you'll learn some laws, whatever. But like then the idea that you can learn other stuff like acting or singing. Like I never thought, when I was growing up, it was like either you were good at singing or you weren't. You had talent or you didn't. I never understood, like it's like if someone was like, oh, you could take voice lessons, I'd be like, but what, you're either good or you're not, like the idea of like developing it like didn't make sense to me. And that's completely not true. And
unless you're completely tone deaf.
Sure, but as far as I can understand it, that's a very small sliver of the population that's actually tone deaf. That's what I've heard. I don't know for sure.
To my niece, if you're watching, you are.
To your niece, if you're watching, maybe you're not.
But you're loved regardless.
Yeah.
But
I've never met you, but I love you. Well, I read an article that it's like, there's this idea that if you meet someone, it's like you develop love, right? But then there's an alternative idea that you love everyone even before you've met them. I like that one better. Okay. So I love your niece. But, so to the point about learning how to be a psychic, like I would think, old me maybe would think like either you're a psychic or you're not, right? But I don't think that's true. And I want to know from Ray about like the process,
I mean, we all, yeah, if it comes from
Uh-huh.
parts of the brain,
Sure.
the majority of the population has a brain. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's just a matter of developing that. And
I guess
hopefully-
so, yeah.
That's my uneducated guess. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I do that a lot. Yeah, say something with authority, whether you believe it or not, and if you say it with enough authority, people will think it's true.
Oh, really? I feel like I do the opposite. I say things I know for sure with like zero authority. But
Or if you tweet a lie enough, you could become president.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So,
Uh-huh.
so you're acting, you're singing, you're doing comedy, and
Yeah.
where can people find you?
Oh, well, I'm right here.
Yes.
Right here, right now. I mean, I live in Brooklyn. I'm in New York City. I perform most days. I perform in some capacity, whether it's singing or stand up,
Okay.
and that's I use this hashtag online on Twitter, which I'm at Elizabeth Glazer on Twitter.
Okay.
Facebook, I'm Liz Glazer, but I use a hashtag which is Dear Liz Glazer, which maybe you've seen. I don't know, but I use it to write notes to myself.
Okay.
Because I don't like the idea of giving other people advice. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know you, but I am trying to know myself. And so, yeah.
So if people want to find you, they can just look for that hashtag?
Yeah, Dear Liz
Okay.
Glazer works. But I once had a Dear Liz Glazer, which was use your talent every day.
Okay.
And so I try to do that. I try to perform in some capacity every day. And that means that at some point in the day, probably, you would be able to see me perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an incredible outlook, and
Thanks.
yeah, it's like it applies very much to you, and it's like I try to carry positivity through
Yeah.
a lot of different things. Yeah, it's like
I try to do that
I
too.
think that was a big part of my misspent youth that we talked about earlier. Is
Oh.
like I got stuck in negativity,
Yeah.
and then once I started to figure things out and turn it around and
Yeah.
feel and try to channel positivity a little bit more,
Yeah.
my life got better.
Yeah.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.